Coming up today on the Prosperity Nation podcast.
The minute I sense trouble, I just and you just go back in your shell and you're like, I'm gonna hide. And I feel like that's how it is with goals sometimes, not wanting to experience the failure. That just maybe it could be one reason why people get scared. They don't want to fail. I'm in a mood today, as you can probably tell.
Great. Well, we're glad you're in a mood today, Elise.
Yes.
And everybody else, welcome to the Prosperity Nation podcast. I'm
Welcome.
Angie.
I'm Elise.
Awesome. Elise, you're in a mood today. What's going on?
I don't know. I just am. And not in a bad mood, just a mood.
You sassy.
Sassy? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Goofy, maybe.
Yeah,
Sassy.
What's on your mind?
Nothing really.
I think I know what it is, Elise, because we were having this conversation earlier about what if you had $250,000 drop in your lap right now, and people tend to say, that's not enough. It needs to be at least $1 million. Right?
I agree.
Why?
Because it's okay, I guess most people's goals are really, really large, and they seem like they need a lot of capital in order to achieve them. And I mean, for me, one of my goals, I'm talking myself out of this, but I'm just gonna go with it. I would love to own a home, but I also live in Orange County, which is, home prices are very expensive. So if you're you get $250,000, I'd be grateful. I won't turn it down. But at the same time, I don't think I'd turn around and just go buy a house with it.
Okay.
Because that wouldn't even cover down payment. Maybe I would use it to start saving for a down payment, but I wouldn't just go do it right away. That's why it's not enough.
It's never enough, right? Because then it's wait, by the time first I'll pay off my debt, then I will, put a down payment house, then it's all gone.
Then it's all gone.
Then what?
And you still can't buy a house yet because you don't have enough.
And you have nothing in savings, and now you got to go put money on debt. You got to go put stuff on debt.
Now you have to get a mortgage
right.
on this house that you have a goal to buy. So it's it's not enough. It's not enough.
So then just quit all your dreams because you don't have $1 million.
Exactly. Just kidding. Isn't that what we talking
End of show. Well, I don't think that's what I talk about, but hey, if that's what you're
joking. You're where have you been this whole time?
Right. If that's what you've been hearing, oh my gosh, no wonder our listeners are confused.
No, I mean, I'm partially joking, obviously. I still feel like it's not enough for certain things. I feel like 250 is enough for certain goals, but maybe not the big dream goal.
But you know what's interesting is that if you ask people that question, the answer is still similar. It's not enough.
It's true.
And you know what that's a sign of to me is you don't know what your goals are and you don't know how to manifest them.
Or, yeah.
And that's part of the conversation, the topic we wanted to bring up today. What does it actually take to manifest or create or achieve that goal? And because we automatically think, that's not enough money, or I need more, whether it's 10,000 or 20,000 or 250 or $1 million, then you don't really know how to make a goal that's an idea come into actual reality, because you're still latched onto the money part of it. And that's not actually the thing that creates goals to happen.
That's true. And not all goals are monetary either. So I think that's probably just an excuse. You don't have to, people have both monetary and non-monetary goals. So.
Well, it's almost always if you ask somebody, well, why haven't you done that? I don't have the money.
It's true.
Oh, I wanted to go to this, big art school in New York. Why didn't you do that? I didn't have the money. Oh, I wanted to be an artist or a creator or, buy my mom a house or whatever your goals are. The number one first thing people will say is I don't have the money.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's a scapegoat.
Money is a scapegoat.
It's a scapegoat for everything.
And the second one is always time. I didn't have time. Yeah. So I always say, okay, what do you really want in life? But you can't say it's about money or time. So it's not about money or time. Why aren't you already doing it?
That's true. I partially think the time is kind of BS because you can figure it out. So
same with money.
That's true. That is true. But I feel like that's more with time. I feel like it's a lot easier to create time or shift your schedule or do something to make it go right time-wise. Money is, you can also do, but I feel like time is just okay, now you're just literally making excuses.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always say, okay, it's never about money or time. Why aren't you already living a life you love right now? Because it's really your responsibility to create a life you love. And that's what we call prosperity. That's what we call flourishing as a person and financially. It's up to you to create that. And if you're not living a life you love right now, then when are you? And why aren't you? And that's what people always say.
Just kidding.
Yeah. After we just bashed retirement on our last few episodes, I guess.
That was obviously a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Exactly. And being able to actually, put that money and that time into a life you love right now, what holds you back? And I think it's just really an interesting thing to look at, to say, yes, you can dream of a life you love, but why haven't you done it? What is the resistance that comes up between idea and creation or manifestation or goal achievement? What happens?
I mean, there could be so many different things. Obviously excuses is the first thing I could think of, but
yeah.
But I think that, one big thing, and I know we've talked about this before, is it really the right goal? Or is it kind of like a manufactured goal or someone else's goal that they've just instilled in you that should be yours? Because that's obviously that's part of it. If you don't truly want it, you're not going to work to achieve it. So I think that's one big thing right there. Is it really a real goal that you want?
How do you know if it's a goal that you really want?
Sorry.
Go for it, Elise. Get that F-bomb out there. Let's do that.
You would just do it, I think. If it's a legitimate goal, I think that the excuses will disappear and you won't find yourself continuously making up excuses, or you won't find that 10, 20, 30 years have gone by and you've made zero progress towards it. I mean, I don't know. That's just me.
Do you have any of those goals that have been lingering along, not being achieved, that keep coming back, kind of in the back of your mind, still nagging at you a little bit?
I mean, yeah, kind of. And the only reason I say kind of is that I do have something that has always been something I've wanted to do. I'm past the point now. I don't feel like I care as much, but there is that thought of that would have been cool. It's to work in the music industry.
Okay.
I've always wanted to be one of those reps, either like a manager of musicians or going to find and signing on new talent to different record labels. I mean, the evolution of the industry's changed so much though. So it's a lot different now, but when I was younger, that was definitely something I've always wanted to do.
So how did you get off that path?
How did I become working in accounting?
Yeah, that's another way of saying it. Did you go for plan B without even ever trying plan A?
I went for the safety net. No, I didn't even, we all know accounting wasn't my first choice either. I don't know. I think it was for me I didn't feel like it was that practical. I didn't know how I was going to get into it. I didn't have my life set up a certain way, maybe that it should have been when I was younger, getting those internships with the record labels, all these things that I probably should have worked on in my early 20s that I didn't. And not that it's too late, but because I don't feel like it's ever too late. I'm older, I'm going back to school and all that. I'm kind of starting over, but that ship, I feel like, has kind of sailed a little bit, if that makes sense.
Wow, listen to all of her excuses. I keep hearing but. It's but stop butting me.
I know. But I'm also fine with where I'm at now.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of not
I get it. You went on plan B and you're fine on it and it's fine. You don't have to go back on that other one. But I think going back to that time where you didn't pursue that and you didn't do those things, one of the key things that you just said is you didn't know how.
I didn't know how. No.
And that I don't know how is what stops that from going from idea to fruition into reality, something that you actually made happen. Right. It's interesting, that resistance that comes up that just stops you because you don't know how to do something, you don't understand it, but you think you do. And then you start saying all the reasons why it didn't work, or you ran out of time, or you ran out of money, or you moved to a different city, or you had kids, or you got married, or got divorced, or all these other life things that happen. And here was this thing that you didn't pursue that you were very interested in because you didn't know how.
Yeah, I didn't know how, and I think I was scared, honestly.
Yes.
I was scared to make a jump into something I didn't know anything about or what to do, or And
that is the point that stops the creation of it. And that's kind of what we push on that button with people and say, hey, it's your responsibility to create that life that brings you that most joy. And I tell you, I don't want to be on my deathbed regretting something I wasn't courageous enough to go do. And so I'm always challenging myself because I too have this goal. I have this very specific goal that always bugs me that it's not achieved. And sometimes I get so mad. I was even on vacation. No, I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I've written like a couple of books and, several mini books, and so probably a dozen all total. And even my favorite book, my first book I wrote, none of them are even available or online to get. And it's like I wrote it and then I got too scared to actually get people to read it. But I keep saying, like, I'm going to rewrite this book. The Prosperity Handbook is the book right now that I'm working on. Been working on it for like 4 years. Money ethics, money codes, and I won't do it. I don't know why. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to hire a ghostwriter and a writing coach, and I'm going to just get this book done. And then I literally sit down and find out how much it actually costs. And I'm like, it's way out of my budget. I guess I'll never have enough money to do the thing I really want to do in life. And all those excuses dropped on myself.
Oh, no.
So then I'm like, oh, well, I guess I don't need a coach. I guess I got to figure it out myself. And all of a sudden it just drops back into the same old pattern. And I just love to like really push on this button because this is what I talk about every day. And so I call myself out on it all the time because I do it too. And yet here it is. It's like I will die on my deathbed dissatisfied if I don't have the courage to figure out how to get this darn book done. And get it out there and not just write it and put it on my shelf with all my other books sitting over here.
Yeah, it's hard. And I think we all do it, honestly, because it is hard. And it's hard to do it alone, too. Because if you don't know, you don't even know where to go to find the answers. Yeah. And sometimes it helps talking it through with someone to figure out, like, asking the questions like, okay, so how do you do that? How much do you need for your book, Angie? How much, okay, great. Can we set aside $100 a month until, whatever it is, but
more like $5,000 a month.
I mean, I don't know how much they cost.
I know.
But and so it's just sometimes you need that fresh perspective, I think, to kind of see these different solutions.
That's so true. And that's exactly the thing. That's that resistance that I wanted to talk about today on this show is, we have these dreams and ideas, but we don't fight for them. We don't fight for them. We get a little bit of a resistance or a bump in the road and we quit it and we go to plan B.
Because we get scared.
Why is it so scary to make your dreams come true?
I don't know, but I was talking to someone about not even goals, but it just reminded me of like, sometimes I feel like I'm a turtle, and like my head's out and I'm like, do. And then the minute I like sense trouble, I just like, and you just go back in your shell and you're like, I'm going to hide. And I feel like that's how it is with goals sometimes. Like the minute you sense like, I don't know if it's the failure or not wanting to experience the failure. That just maybe it could be one reason why people get scared. Mm-hmm. Like they don't want to fail. And so, I think that's a big one.
I think that's true. And then, as you do achieve some goals in life, then you're like, now what? Like I've done all the things in life. Yeah. Now what? Well, then it kind of it forces you to think bigger or deeper about what's more important to you. And it puts you right back into that same place of the unknown. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know how the resources are going to work. I don't know what to do next. I don't know if what if I don't really like this? I have this big dream. And what if I hate it when I get to the other side? It's all of that comes up and it doesn't stop because once you achieve, goal 1 or goal 2 or 3, then you're forced to look deeper and look for more meaning and something more important to you.
That's right. That's funny. I literally had this conversation yesterday with someone about the same thing. It's like once you get to that comfortable point, it's time to level up. And now you are uncomfortable again because you're at a new level. And that's how goals are. It's like, okay, we got all our baby goals out of the way. That's great. Now you need like adult goals. And now you need like bigger goals and bigger goals. And the goals should never be easy, because I feel like if they are, like, you're not actually pushing yourself.
Exactly. And that pushing through what? That resistance. Mm-hmm. And there's always resistance there. It's kind of like it's just gravity against our goals or something, it's just there. And it's so hard to push through it because we feel like we're going to lose something else if we don't, or if we have one goal that we want really bad and we have the other, what if they conflict? What if you can't have both? Then you have to choose, and it's hard to choose. So therefore, I'll drop all my ideas about it whatsoever.
I won't do any goal because I can't pick.
Because I can't pick. Yeah. That's a terrible place to be.
Horrible.
It's like, but the truth is, like, you start walking down that path and you start discovering, what does it take? What does it mean? How does it work? And it's hard. Like you said, it has to be hard, right? Or it's not a goal, really.
No. Goals should be challenging. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm going to save $5 today. I did it. Yay.
I know. That's a task.
That's not fun. Yeah.
No, and it's a task. It's not a goal. That's just a task. But I think really to understand what it takes to bring something to manifestation or creation or achievement, however word you want to use, it's all the same. We've struggled with this idea since we were humans, of how to create things here on this earth. How do we make things happen? But the key to it is being clear on what it looks like and taking that time to really ask yourself those questions of, what would this goal look like? What would my life look like if I achieve this goal? Because you're actually painting the road when you do that. And the clearer that road is, the stronger it's going to pull you. And you'll overcome these resistances a lot easier.
That's true. Well, because at that point, you know exactly where you're going.
Right.
And it's like, if you don't have that clear roadmap, you can easily get like on detours,
Exactly.
Like, I'm going to go this way. Oh no, but I'm actually trying to go straight, but I'm going to make a left turn. Like, I don't know. And so it's a lot easier to not know where the hell you're going if you don't, you don't know where you're going, obviously.
Exactly.
So
You'll certainly get there.
You might get there. Who knows? But you can kind of like get rid of all the side noise.
Yeah.
But you can't do that if you don't know what the objective is.
Exactly. And, I know for me, I get dispersed because I often get multiple goals I'm trying to achieve at one time. And sometimes they conflict. And so then oh man, I want a mobile lifestyle, but I want to be around my family every week. Like how is that going to work? So then I have to sacrifice and choose and decide which goal and try to figure out a way to create my lifestyle in such a way I can have all my goals get achieved. But what happens is, I know that recently this has been happening, is I realized I've got too many pathways I'm trying to work at once, too many goals at one time. And it's actually just dispersing my energy and my focus. And now I'm like, man, I got to get my disciplines back in and get that structure back in and then take some of those goals off, not because I'm abandoning them, but because it's not the right time. And I have to get honest with myself about that, or I'll not be able to achieve any of the goals I'm trying to achieve. So that's just one of those resistances, is having conflicting goals or having goals that need to adjust the timing of them so that you can put all your energy in and break through the resistance.
Yeah, I think and the timing I think is also important too, because life happens, things change and situations change. So maybe a goal you had when you're 18 years old isn't really a goal when you're 40, because your life is in a totally different position. And, even for me, like the music industry was a huge goal of mine when I was 18, maybe mid 20s, but it just, at some point, it just didn't seem practical. And I no longer wanted to do the work needed at whatever age I was at to get in that. Like that goal wasn't really important to me anymore.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not I don't want to call it giving up, because I don't feel like I gave up on it either. But it's okay to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to close that chapter because I'm no longer there in life anymore.
Yeah. And that's right. And you're being willing to just say goodbye and not leave it as an open wishing and wanting and saying, you know what? I wished and wanted to do it for a while. I didn't do it, so let it go. But if it's still nagging at you, Then go do it.
Then go
and
do it.
figure that out.
Go effing do it. Like I
Go effing do it. That's right. Stop wishing, stop wanting, just effing do it.
Just effing
right?
do it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's being really honest with yourself. You know, you have to be really honest with yourself. And then you can be able to communicate honestly with others about that. Because if you showed up tomorrow and said, Angie, that's it. I want to be in the music industry. Dang it, you totally inspired me. I want to change it. Then I'm going to be like, oh, I guess now our firm is going to be starting to focus more on that business management side that we focus on.
Let's get
now
into
we're going to bring in talent management. And yeah, we're going to be having parties on the roof.
I'm fine with that if we want to go in that direction. Just saying. I can bring that goal back real quick.
Okay. Well, see, it is alive in you still. You cannot say you closed that chapter.
It's mostly closed, but yeah, I know.
Wasn't that DJ Lizard coming out right there? We've already told that story in the opening show.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm pulling that card, Elise. It's time to get effing honest with yourself, you know, in all areas of your life. And me too. Like I actually have a lot of goals going on, but when I get dispersed, then nothing happens.
Yeah.
I'm just busy with no actual manifestation.
Yeah, I think that's important too.
So, yeah, we want to hear from you. What goals are you working on achieving? What goals have you abandoned that, you know what, they need to come to life because they're still nagging at you and you got to do something about it. Like, it's your life. You're responsible for creating a life you love. So tell us, what are you stuck on? What are you sharing? What's your excitement? We want to hear from you.
We do. And as always, you can share those with us at stories@prosperitynation.com. Also, follow us on our social media. It's The Prosperity Nation. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us today. Follow us on social media for the latest episodes, updates, and more. Like and subscribe to videos from us on YouTube and find out more at prosperitynation.com. That's it for now. We'll see you next time on the Prosperity Nation podcast.